So we're going to start by pulling these things out, and this was a lot simpler than I expected. Back seats are almost always very simple. Lift up on the front, it'll unhook, you can pull that out, and then there's 1 or 2 bolts holding the back seat in place. This is the back upright. Inside you have these rods. Now what I like to do when I'm removing seat covers is I basically will undo the hog rings from the back. So you'll have hog rings back here. You'll use your angle cutters, pry it open, and then just kind of pull it out. But then on the front, you're gonna have these kind of, they're basically like coat hanger style rods that run down the inside of all of the seams to hold the seat cover in, especially like around the bolsters so it doesn't kind of bulge out. I like to just rip the seat off so that these stay in place. So what that does is when I'm putting everything back together, I know where each of these goes and I can put them back in the same spot. So I'll just pull the hog rings off, yank these out, put them in the new seat cover, and Bob's your uncle. Now, most seats are going to be just like this one. You'll pull the front seat or back seat out. It'll be foam, there'll be some wire frame inside. You'll stretch your material over it and it's done. It's all in one piece. The bucket seats in this car have to come all the way apart, which I'll show you in just a minute. But for you guys that are just wanting to know how to upholster your seats, it's most likely they're going to be more like this than like this. The reason I like to use angle cutters to get the hog rings off is if they do get stuck, you can just squeeze real hard and cut them in half. And with these being old and rusty, that helps. I'm going to go ahead and pull all these hog rings out and kind of organize my little rods, and then we'll get to putting the new cover on. All right, with that, the seat is completely clean and ready for a new cover. You're going to want to go ahead and locate, obviously you know all of your hog rings that need to go down through here in the creases, but then you're also going to want to locate on the back. There will be some places where if your seats are old, which they likely are, you'll see where the other hog rings were. And that's going to be either a metal wire or it'll be like this is a bracket that runs through the foam. And you'll just clip in all the way down there, down this side. So how do we fit the seat cover? It's really not bad as long as you've got well-made seat covers. And today we have very well-made seat covers. Let me show you. Oh. So I went online and I found the best reviewed convertible E30 seat covers I could find, and they were from leatherseats.com. Not sponsored. I paid like over $1,000 for these. Paid a fortune for them, but it is worth it if you want a really good looking seat and a really good feeling seat. And yes, I would love to work with you, leatherseats.com, so hit me up. I've got cars that you make leather seat kits for, and we could do a cool build. What I normally like to do is work from the center out. Now, if you've got like a bucket seat and you don't really have a center, then I always go with, well, it's still the center out actually. I always hook in these first on a bucket seat and then the outsides, and then you worry about stretching around the edge. For this seat, we have this cut open square right here, which is for the seatbelt, the little seatbelt holster thing. So you can like click the seatbelts up in there when you're not using them, I guess. German stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on. Since I didn't remove that all the way, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of stretch this around here. I haven't tested this before turning the video on, so hopefully it works the way that I want it to. All right, so we've got our little seatbelt holster through that's holding everything together. I'm just gonna go one side at a time. We'll fold that over, run the little rods through that I just pulled out, and then we're gonna connect them. And if you haven't done upholstery, this is the only thing that you will have to do that you've probably never done before. And I'm gonna show you how. Hog ring pliers. You take the hog ring, and there's some grooves in here. These are almost always spring-loaded, so they close automatically. You take a hog, it didn't even scare me. It didn't even scare me. You take the hog ring pliers, they'll hold it in place for you. And then you're gonna take your little rod here, push it down into the hole. There's another rod down there inside of the groove. And you want to connect the two rods with the staple. So this will go around the two rods and you'll squeeze it shut and it'll basically tie them together.
It's not a nonsense, it's not making rich.
What you doing, girl?
Actually, I was going to get the boys' backpacks, but I've already done that.
The first one's kind of hard sometimes because everything's so tight, but the more the more you get in, the better. I'll do probably 5 on this run. Okay, so now that's attached. We'll lay it down and do the one across the middle, and then we'll follow that up with the one down the other side. And then this kind of central part will be completely good for the next 25 years or so. Hey. Hey. That's funny. When you get to corners, I like to just flip them inside out. It's gonna make it easier to get around the bolster. Anytime you have a bolster, you can go inside out, lay your seam down and fold it over, but also it's gonna give you more room to get these in. Try to get a shot of this one. Hey! That's funny. Oh, that's funny. All right, let's see. All right, there we go. So, a little bit time consuming, but now our seats are attached, so I mean this leather's not coming off. Next up, we are going to stretch this. Now, if you're doing it on an old seat, you'll be able to see kind of a dark section where the seam was. So I just like to line that up with the new cover. Again, just flipping it inside out will make it so much easier to get that seam in the right spot. And ultimately, if the seam's in the right spot, the cover's in the right spot. You can see how tight that fits. Just like that. Got a pretty cool, good looking seat. Oh, do the other side. These are the old seat covers. You guys have seen these, not off the seats. But they didn't look that rough in the car until I saw the new ones. And now I realize these things were really rough. Inside of the old seat covers, you have more of these little rods.
Hey, you think they have headphones at the living room?
I think that I did see some there, yeah. And now we're gonna just do the same kind of thing. This is much easier than doing the center section though. There are rods that go through the foam. So you just find those, stretch this around. Again, these seat covers fit so well. It's really simple. I'm just going to, where do I want to start? That looks pretty good. I'm just going to put a few on either side, and then we'll stretch the middle. And then we'll see kind of how it's looking.
You gotta fix your teeth, Dad.
Is it good? Thank you. There we go. Look at this. Hey, what do you think of that? You like it? We don't need that on there. What we do need though is the hammer. Can you find the hammer? Where is it? Huh? Where's the hammer? Hammer. 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 Ouch. Hammer. Yeah, hammer. You know where it is? Looks pretty good, huh? You like it?
Yeah, you just need to make it go all the way in. It's not, there's a crack right there.
Oh, okay. I think it's from, like, you know how sometimes you'll see pictures of pigs with, like, rings in their nose? I think it's from that, but I'm not really sure. Like, I think that's where the name comes from. And then use a hog ring here to hold the two together. Just like that. My children are fighting. Maybe we'll voice over that. Maybe not. Maybe we'll just let y'all hear my children fight. My children do fight. Like all children. All right, that is it. If you have normal seats, that's all you need to know. Hog ring pliers, hog rings, and some angle cutters will get you a very long way in getting your seats to look brand new. And these things really do look awesome. Despite old foam, it didn't really matter. They look, feel, and fit amazing. So much better than what was on there. But we're not done because I have the biggest seat project of my life. And I know that because I've already done another one and it took forever. to do. Now I'm hoping I can shorten it down this time, and I'm hoping I can kind of walk you guys through how to do these sports seats. They are very difficult. I think it's a standard Recaro setup though, so maybe your seats are the same. If they are, I'm sorry, but you will be happy with them when you're done. All right, so basic seats done. We'll throw them in the car in a minute. By a minute, I mean tomorrow. I'm having to film at night now.